What's up, YouTubers? Back again. What the heck is this?
Here with reaction, Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Lindsey Graham. Senator, let's start with the subsource, because the subsource was interviewed, correct me if I'm wrong, 3 days in January of 2017. Am I correct on that?
That's right. Yes, and actually again in March on 2 or 3 separate occasions. 3 days in January, again in March of 2017.
Okay, so the subsource, now this is the guy that said this is Barr talk. And didn't the Mueller report say, weren't we told that this information had Russian connections when in fact it did not have any Russian connections whatsoever?
I don't know about you, but I always assumed the Russian subsource was some guy in Russia deep in the bowels of the Kremlin feeding this stuff to Christopher Steele. The subsource was a senior Russian researcher at the Brookings Institute and an employee of Christopher Steele living in the United States. He calls up a bunch of people in Russia. Where do you think this information came from? It came from the Russian intelligence service. They played this guy like a fiddle. This was Russian disinformation. Some FBI agent recognized it as such. He told Steele, here's what I found, but it's not really reliable. Be cautious. Steele turned it into a Tom Clancy novel. The FBI bought it hook, line, and sinker and got warrants with it. The most successful political operation in the history of the Democratic Party, because Steele was on the payroll of the Democratic Party and Hillary Clinton's campaign.
So they were warned. Now we learned in the unclassified document from last week from you, what did we learn?
Right. We
learned that when they went to first brief the president, National Security Advisor-elect, that would be, if in fact they got elected, General Flynn, that was all a ruse for Operation Crossfire Hurricane. And we know that they knew before the first dirty dossier that it was a dirty dossier. It was unverified. Steele had an agenda. Clinton paid for it. They said it was verified. It's unverifiable. It's now been debunked. They still signed those two. And then even after the subsource, in other words, Christopher Steele's sources, then they went on to sign 2 more warrants. Now, how is that not premeditated fraud on a FISA court? And what has taken John Durham so long to get to that fundamental conclusion? Because what we now know is overwhelming, incontrovertible, slam dunk. That now needs to be brought before a grand jury, Lindsey Graham. When's that going to happen?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out soon, I suppose. But I'm going to interview the intel analyst who interviewed the Russian subsource and produced a 40-page memo. If nobody else will talk to him, I'm going to talk to him and the case agent and ask him a simple question. When you found out that the Russian subsource was a Steele employee, not based in Russia, but based in the United States, and everything in the document was bar talk, hearsay, and garbage, did you tell anybody? And I guarantee you they did. But here's what else you're going to find this week, I hope. The Congress got suspicious about the subsource, wanted to know how reliable the person was, and in 2018, asked for a briefing from the FBI about the Russian subsource because the intel committees were getting suspicious, and I found the briefing notes, and they lied to Congress, the FBI did, like they lied to the FISA court. What we have over a 3-year period, 16, 17, and 18, is a complete breakdown of the rule of law, manipulation of the system at every turn, and it's just not a few bad actors, unfortunately. This is system failure.
And so you will have Sally Yates tomorrow. You plan on bringing in Comey and McCabe at some point, Strzok and Page at some point. Do we ever get to the July 5th meeting in the Oval Office where Biden talked about the Logan Act and Obama talked about getting his people on this, his people, the right people, and when Sally Yates admitted she was shocked that Obama knew all about the Kislyak call, and Comey was there, and Comey's even saying we have nothing, and now we know Peter Strzok said we have nothing with any evidence of Trump-Russia collusion, and they knew it all, and they kept going forward with the lies to the FISA court, and then they went forward with an impeachment investigation. I want to know what they knew and when they knew it. Are they all going to be held accountable, Lindsey Graham?
Well, all I can tell you is that we're going to have an election in 2020, and I hope people will consider the Obama Justice Department to be the sewer that it was. But Sally Yates will testify for the Judiciary Committee August the 5th, and we'll have a talk after she testifies.
She signed one of the warrants, didn't she, Senator?
Yeah, maybe the first question I ask her. If you
Yeah.
knew then what you know now, would you have signed it?
Well, Rod Rosenstein answered that question before your committee recently, and he
Yeah.
said he would not. Let's see what Sally
tuned.
Yates says tomorrow.
Stay tuned.
Keep up the good
It's
work.
next
We
week.
will hold them
Thank you.
accountable.